I'm here in the inner city suburb of Rozelle to find out why this house has got 2 front doors. Let's talk about this idea of 2 frontages.
Good urban understanding of how houses are read from the streets is that when you're walking along the street, you see the front door. And intrinsically, you know the people behind it. So we had that response to the street at the traditional front door, equally with the rear lane, that we should not treat the lane like a second-class citizen, we should treat it like a street.
So you're adding a sort of, you're adding personality to a laneway with the street.
Yeah, you're adding that human qualities.
So when we look, you're looking at the front, let's look at the front, the front of the house. How does the brick work in that way?
So we have this saying in the office that the brick is a thick tile or a tile is a thin brick. You know, these ideas that using bricks and tiles for facades is this low maintenance thing, but they're also beautiful. You know, it's like a dating sort of process at the beginning. You sit down with your clients, you talk about your ideas, they talk about their ideas. If they're compatible, like minds come together.
So you're on this date with the clients and then you pull out the green tiles and the bricks. How did they respond to that?
That's never a first date conversation. Their response was pretty good. The palette of materials in any house are the things that keep you up at night. Your big ideas are generally things that you arrive at intrinsically over a period of time, you know they work. But getting the composition of materials together is, in many ways, for me, the great challenge. And we have this strategy that we start with where if we're going to have a cool material, we put a warm material with it. And we've got these other ideas of you want a home that doesn't feel fragile, that's robust to live in, that kick the footy in, you want to be able to have parties here and your funny mate that gets a little bit drunk and, falls into the wall, doesn't fall through it.
That's me, isn't it?
The mortar joints for us is a bit like sampling in music. There's an architect called Frank Lloyd Wright who used to strike the verticals flush and you dig out the horizontals. So then you've got this linear appearance of the bricks.
I noticed that there's 2 different shades of mortar, inside and out. Why did you do that?
We wanted the sense that the outside was the outside and the inside was the inside. And I think the eye is really clever at picking up subtle differences.
And that softens everything, doesn't it?
It softens everything, but equally we don't bombard the place with bricks. So again, we've got these 2 side walls, so they were going to be the brick walls, and any little infill bit was either going to be a white sort of billowing surface or this green tile. So as a composition, you get this little rich piece, which is the brickwork either side, but you're not smashed with it. It's not totally dominating. So you have the external skin, which is the brickwork, and every time we carve into that to make a courtyard, to make a doorway, it's almost like you cut into the skin and you get this lovely green. But it also added this serene quality about the house. So, for instance, standing in that courtyard, I look in there now with the wall garden growing nicely, and that all feels like it's a composition of materials and textures and organic matter. For me, architecture is about space and light. So yes, they resolve down into programmatic things, bedrooms, bathrooms, kitchens, living rooms. But we start from an idea of saying, well, how do we get the light to the building? How do each room have the quality that it needs to have? Bedrooms can be a little bit darker. Living rooms are these more gregarious open spaces. How do we suck that light in there? And so when you're here, you feel great to be in.
You talk about the practicality of the bricks. What do they bring from an aesthetic point of view?
Composition of bricks gives you texture. I mean, no 2 bricks are the same. Gives you a rhythm in a facade. It also plugs us historically into a way we make buildings. For me, the sense that a human hand has made this house makes it more human to be in. For Rozelle, this is a reasonable sized block.
And you've got a house in a city with a 2-car garage, a pool, a separate studio. Pretty amazing, isn't it?
And when you look on the street, you think, oh, it's a single-storey house.
Yeah. How does that house blend into the street? How did you make that work?
It's a contextual response. So we went through the records and we found this used to have 2 workmen's cottages. So we started that from a contextual response, putting those 2 workmen's cottages on the side and then trying to understand that as an envelope.
So if you looked at where those old terraces were back in the day, the front of the house is a similar size.
The front starts at the same point, the ridges are the same point, the house finishes at the same point.